So this is the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. It's Apple's first legitimate attempt at making the iPad into a sort of computer, and if you're thinking about picking up one yourself for that purpose, maybe hang on a second, because while this is way better than the company's previous attempts like the Smart Folio keyboard, there are some things that hold it back. Price is a big one to start. At $300 for this 11-inch version or $350 for the 12.9-inch version, the Magic Keyboard is not a cheap accessory and definitely not the best price for value. But this keyboard has me torn because there is just so much that is good about this experience that I'd be willing to live with the price just this one time. Now let's start with typing. The Magic Keyboard uses the scissor switch mechanism like Apple's MacBooks. Well, the newer ones anyway, but that means that this keyboard feels responsive, tactile, and there is lots of travel. And I gotta admit, I really like typing on this keyboard. It is comfortable, there's no delay, and all the keys just work. And I've found myself using this for typing on everything these days, like for Discord, or small Word documents, or even the script. So you also get an automatic backlight that fades in and out depending on the ambient lighting, and you can adjust those brightness levels in the settings. And from my experience, the backlight is just okay. It's nothing special. I'm always writing with the lights on anyways, so it's not a useful feature for me, but it's not a very impressive backlight either. Now, my only gripe with the keyboard itself is that there aren't any function keys. It's not particularly annoying that they aren't there. It just forces you to interact with the iPad more for stuff you do need, like when you're changing the brightness or you're turning up the volume when you're watching a YouTube video. But even things like down to the lack of an escape key makes this really frustrating to use as a total computer replacement. Now underneath the keys is this trackpad, which although is pretty small, is excellent. It's smooth, clicks are responsive, albeit a little loud, and the gesture performance is snappy. When you start to become comfortable with the gestures, you can really fly through different apps or scroll websites and apps with ease. Like, alright, look at this. Say you're watching a YouTube video and you wanted to see if GPUs are back in stock. Boom. It's awesome. Now, the software side of things is interesting, to say the least. Keyboard shortcuts work like normal here, so you can use Command Tab to switch quickly between apps, or even use more obscure commands like Command H to go home from any app. And the cursor isn't a traditional mouse cursor, but it's more like a circle. You'll notice that certain features are a little bit different or just straight up missing, like how the cursor magnetically connects itself to an app when you're on the home screen, or how you can't select text in Google Docs, which, come on Google. Now moving away from the keyboard, on the outside you've got this silicone exterior that Apple uses across all of their Smart Folio cases, and this material for the most part isn't very good. After a couple of days it starts to get dirty no matter how much you clean it, and beyond a certain point the edges will start to wear down and fray. To solve this personally, I just put a dbrand skin over it, but otherwise you'd have to clean it pretty often. Now on the inside you have the soft suede-like material that protects the iPad from scratches and houses the smart connector and magnets. And I gotta say, these magnets are strong, like really strong. No matter how much I shake the iPad, it's not gonna come off. But because there's a gap towards the bottom half, you can quickly snap it off and switch around with other cases. Now this has been really awesome for my use case when I'm just typing on this keyboard and I want to go back to drawing, so I just pop it off. I just pop the iPad off, so nice. Now this overall package with the iPad and the keyboard together weighs in at 2.4 pounds approximately, which is a lot heavier than you might expect. And because of that, using this setup on a desk or a table is ideal. If you use it on your lap, it'll feel a little bit awkward with how much weight distribution there is across the top and the bottom. And honestly, I would just recommend keeping it on your desk when you're using it. If you're a student and you'll be heading back to school with this setup in September, it's not super heavy, just be careful when you're carrying it around. Maybe put it in your bag or something. Now the viewing angles on this keyboard are limited, but they're not restrictive. Although you can't push the iPad back to get a more wider range of view compared to traditional laptops, the angles that the iPad are limited to are just good enough for me and really ergonomic, so they don't make the tablet uncomfortable to use for longer periods of time. And there's also a bunch of little quirks here that you won't find on other keyboards, like the extra USB-C port on the side. Unfortunately, this port actually doesn't read data, so you can't connect an extra hard drive or an SD card reader to it, but what it does do is frees up the actual data port for a sort of two-way charging / data setup. Again, it's not ideal if you really need it to be a computer replacement. And the Apple Pencil, like all of Apple's cases, stick out with no real grip or holder to properly secure it. And trying to use the Apple Pencil with this keyboard on is not ideal, to say the least. If you're buying this accessory, you'll want to just stick with typing and maybe pick up a different folio case for drawing. Alright, so here's the $1 million or $300 or $400 question, depending on who you ask. Is this Magic Keyboard worth it? And it is really hard to say. The Magic Keyboard solidly sits in a class of its own. When you connect it to the iPad, it opens up this really new world of tablet to do so many things and act like a computer. But if you're a serious user who needs actual computing power, you're going to find yourself frustrated with the limitations of both the keyboard and iPad OS, especially with iPad OS. We live in a weird era of that software where you have this ridiculously well-built keyboard, but you can't use two apps side by side on the iPad. It's just not a completely viable computer replacement. But if you're a less serious user, maybe you do some casual typing here and there, chances are you're really going to like how everything integrates and transforms the iPad into a sort of hybrid laptop. Now for $300 you might argue, why not just buy a separate keyboard, trackpad, and a tablet stand to emulate that experience? But you pay that premium to have all of that in this one neat package, so it's really not the same. But for me personally, this combo is not a laptop replacement. It has become really close to it for every little thing that I use my laptop for, like Netflix, web browsing, emails, YouTube videos. This iPad and keyboard have completely replaced it. It's just so easy and so much fun to use. But when I really need to get some work done, I am switching over to the laptop or the PC. This Magic Keyboard does not fill that laptop replacement. So I'll leave my definitive recommendation as this. If you're budget conscious or you need a real computer with a bit more capabilities, skip this and look at other alternatives, because this is not it. But if you've been looking at this for a while and you know you really like everything about it, maybe you admire a really well-built premium feeling keyboard experience that just works so well with the iPad, I'd say go for this one. This really is in a class of its own. You won't find any other case like it. And yeah, it's $300, but honestly, when you put it on the iPad and start using it, you're not going to look back on it. I'd say treat yourself too. For all of its flaws, I know for a fact that I would buy this again. Thanks for watching.